The past, somewhere in the Soul Society. Blood and an anguished cry came out of Shuhei Hisagi as he fell to the ground on his knees.
What's wrong, Shuhei? Weren't you going to teach me about having the right to do something?
I'm still getting started.
What? You still want to go? I'm getting hungry and you'll just end up dead, Shuhei.
At that time, they were resisting the Vandenreich. Head Captain Genryusai Yamamoto had been killed by Yuhavak, and 4 of the captain's bankais had been stolen. That was when Muguruma had commanded Hisagi to perform bankai.
I was lucky my bankai wasn't stolen this time, but it could very well happen the next. The more Soul Reapers who use bankai, the better.
Though Hisagi wasn't against the plan, Muguruma's scheme was to awaken Hisagi's bankai by having a hollified Mashiro attack him aggressively.
You're either gonna master bankai or die trying. I'm not soft like Tozen was.
Just hold on, Captain Muguruma. I've always looked up to you and respected you. But still, even if that's the case, you have no right to badmouth Captain Tozen.
Half a day of formal combat training with Mashiro went by.
I never had a right to badmouth Tozen. Don't be soft. Whose fault is it that he's getting badmouthed? I'm saying that you're half-baked.
I already knew that. But I simply can't condone anyone badmouthing him.
You're being unreasonable.
Yeah, I am.
Hisagi staggered to his feet and bowed to Muguruma and Mashiro.
Captain, thank you very much. You too, Kuna.
Why are you thanking us?
Because I'm not the only one risking their life.
Don't act so tough. Even if your bankai runs wild, I'll be fine.
Saying that doesn't really moralize me.
But you know, I do hope it's nothing like Sakanade.
Sakanade? Is Captain Hirako's bankai that dangerous?
If you don't already know, then forget about it. I'm not gonna tell people about someone else's bankai.
Right.
But if we're talking seriously, I think your Kazashini already packs a punch as a Shikai. So if you make it a bankai, there's a chance you might not be able to adjust to it at first. That's why I've left it to Mashiro, since she can probably deal with whatever it might do.
Huh? What the heck? You mean you're not going to help, Kensei? You want me to do all the battling myself? You're the one who's supposed to be captain. It's not fair. Not fair, not fair. You gorilla.
To phrase it another way, it's actually a wonder you haven't been able to acquire your bankai up until now. If you know how to use your shikai, then you can at least have a conversation, right?
Yes. To be honest, even though I've talked to Kazeshini, I don't think anything I'm saying is getting through. Actually, it will barely show me itself even in the mental world, and just appears in the form of a black shadow, or a black puddle, or a black twister every once in a while.
That's an odd one.
In the past, it externalized once when we were in the middle of a huge conflagration, but it looked a little different, and for a moment I had no idea it even was Kazeshini.
Right. I don't know the details, but it seemed it was once forced to externalize.
Maybe it's because it knows I might not like its form, but it won't really talk to me. Every so often when it does speak, all it says is disturbing stuff like, "Give me blood," or "Offer your life." I know it's not fundamentally a bad guy, but honestly I have some reservations. I'm worried that if I understand it completely, that maybe I'll end up tainted by it.
Are you scared?
I can't say I'm not.
You can't know for sure that your Zanpakuto's words are really what they think.
Huh?
Well, whatever path we take, it's clear we won't make it in time using the usual methods.
Kensei approached Hisagi and brought his hand to his own forehead. Then with a tearing motion, he equipped a hollow mask.
What? Huh? Are you taking over, Kensei? Then can I go get a snack?
No, you idiot. From here on out, we're going to tag team.
Huh?
Blast away, Tashikaze.
Muguruma Zanpakuto took on a small knife-like form.
So you're afraid of your Zanpakuto? Tozen also said something like that. He was always blathering on about how that was why he could fight. I can't clear away your fear. But if it's like Tozen said, and you can fight because of your fear, then prove it!
Muguruma readied his Zanpakuto and hit Hisagi with strong spiritual pressure.
Prove whether you've got the right to be talking about Tozen or not.
The present. Karakura Town, Mitsumiya. A group of figures dressed in black stood in formation around Urahara Shoten. Hiyori Sarugaki looked up at the sky while she held Shino and Ryunosuke on her shoulders.
What's that? What are they fighting against?
What is that thing?
Urahara and Hisagi were flamboyantly leaping through the sky, violently battling 5 red-black dragons that had been formed from the spurt of Aura's blood. The dragons were also a gathering of letters and patterns, and were packed together and wriggling in unison like a school of fish.
Mr. Urahara, I'll ask again. Are you sure this isn't some sort of special ability like a Bankai?
Yes, it's something like Kido. It's a basic ability that any Fullbringer should be able to use. There is likely iron or rust or something she's mixed with her blood to raise the quality of the Kompaku. She's moving it using the Fullbringer ability Reishi Subjugation. But it's a little different from the Quincy's Reishi enslavement. The size of those things is nothing to trifle with, but if you get swallowed up by something like that, your body and your Zanpakuto might end up subjugated too.
I have a hard time believing this.
They both managed to evade a jaw the size of a large truck that attempted to swallow them. Kamisori Benehime. The red slash that appeared from the sword's tip chopped off the dragon's head. However, the cut wafted like smoke and regenerated. Shibari Benehime. This time, a black sash stretched out from the Zanpakuto and wrapped around 2 of the dragons, forming a lattice net. Yasobi Benehime, Jutsu Tsunagi. The black lattice knot burst into flames with a chain reaction and dyed the sky red with fire.
Whoa! Are you sure we should be doing this?
Let's hope President Vorarlberna will do something about it. Well, if it's necessary, we'll use a wide-scale memory wipe to deal with it.
Huh? Where did the woman go?
It's likely she's hiding in the dragons or something. No, if she can make her own body into smoke, I suppose there's no need to hide in the first place.
Then there's no way we can fight something like that using a Zanpakuto.
It depends on the Zanpakuto. I think the one with the most affinity in this case would be Mr. Hitsugaya's. An ice and snow type Zanpakuto, or one that could scorch a large area like Genryusai Yamamoto's, would be able to defeat their opponent whether she was made of liquid or vapor, but Kazeshini employed physical attacks and had the worst predisposition for this.
Do you want to do this focusing on using Kido?
We can't be unwilling to try anything. Anything we can do, we must try with everything we have. Beyond the end of 1,000 hands. The hand of darkness out of reach, the archer in heaven that goes unseen, road that lights the way, wind that ignites the embers, converge where I point. Bullets of light, bodies of 8, rays of 9, hands of heaven, treasures of speed, wheels of immensity, and cannons of gray. The bow is drawn and fades into the light. Hado number 91. Senju Koten Taiho. Swarms of light spread across the sky to converge in front of Urahara, then turned into a dense barrage that pierced through the atmosphere and burned away the red-black dragons. I see. So it seems she really can subjugate Akido's Reishi as well. After the smoke cleared, Aura appeared from the ruins of the dragons. No. If I had to guess, I'd say she controlled the soul and the nitrogen to create a barrier. Well, if she can do that in the world of the living where Reishi is thin, then she really isn't anything to scoff at. Though it looks like she didn't come out that unharmed. Despite a lack of conspicuous wounds on her body or clothes, Hisagi felt a change in her. Her spiritual pressure, which had been diluted until then, could be clearly felt, and quivered as though she were exhausted. What a relief. If she were still unharmed after all that, then we would have to deal with her with the same level of offense as if she were Sosuke Aizen.
Is this Kido? I've never been hit by it directly, but it definitely isn't a skill to underestimate. It seems I miscalculated the Soul Reapers slightly. Is there no way to convince you to lend us your power?
I'm very pleased you've extended me the invitation, but the Hogyoku is not something I can create so frivolously. And regardless of the reason, I can't undertake the task of creating one so lightly. If I were able to mass produce and could regulate it, I would have done so and just handed one over to Mr. Kurosaki during the war.
That's a lie, isn't it? If Ichigo Kurosaki were given a Hogyoku, the world would become very stable for sure. But that's far from the result you're looking to achieve, isn't it?
Yes, I'm sorry. I lied.
If I had given Mr. Kurosaki the Hogyoku, it would have been something entirely different, wouldn't it have? Mr. Urahara? So, how much of this are you aware of?
Oh, are you sure you want to discuss that here? Isn't he a journalist? I don't think this is something that we should be talking about in front of him.
What's going on here? What are you trying to say? Since the Tsuneyashiro family got involved, I think Mr. Hisagi would have found out about this no matter what, so I don't mind talking about it in front of him. What are you talking about? Even I know that the Tsuneyashiro family is doing something dangerous to the Soul Society and the world of the living. That's not what this is about, Mr. Hisagi. I'm sorry that this will challenge your resolve as a reporter. Or rather, as a Soul Reaper. My resolve as a Soul Reaper? Afterward, I'll tell you what I can myself. But when that happens, will you be able to continue to pledge that you will keep upholding the justice of the 13 Court Guard squads? That's the kind of conversation this is. You can also continue to pretend to remain ignorant of these matters. Before she speaks, I might be able to force her into silence. I mean, I probably ought to do that for the sake of the Soul Society in general. Mr. Hisagi, should you be a part of the Soul Society, then I have no right to stop you from knowing about this. Had the battle with Yuhavak not occurred, I would have kept this in the dark. Even I have hesitations about it. Aizen attempted to change the way of the world for himself, and I think that was a mistake even now. However, if the world of the Soul Society itself were to seek change, then who am I to say whether things are right or wrong? That is something a reporter like yourself ought to be asking about the world. That is the sort of conversation we'll be getting into from now on. Well, let's continue this talk later, after we resolve the situation in front of us. What is this? Mr. Urahara definitely likes talking, but was he really the type to talk so much in the middle of a fight? I'm surprised by your integrity. You didn't try to attack us by surprise during that long conversation.
How you jest! While you were talking to that lieutenant, weren't you also preparing your spiritual pressure to sneak off several Kido?
Nothing different from what you're doing, right? The dragon we just dispersed is still scattered all around this band, isn't it? Huh. Mr. Urahara is consistently impressive. Well, this isn't the time to be dwelling on that. Still, I can't let myself be a burden to him.
Turn inside out.
At her command, the air around her transformed. The matter Aura had been subjugating used the fragments of the dragons as a medium to reorganize, and instantly the gray sky was dominated by gray water. Above the skies of Harakura Town manifested an entire ocean.
An ocean? In the sky?
If that comes crashing down on us, we'll drown, Shino. Let's get out of here.
The ocean undulated in one direction to turn into a gigantic river that ran through the sky.
Stop peeing your pants. Anybody with Zanpakuto could handle that thing. Even that Espada Shark Lady could make something like that.
Next to the mass of seawater, a river of lava rushed through the sky as well.
Ugh!
From afar, Tessai paused in his counterattack against the people in black that had appeared around them.
I think we better hurry up under the circumstances.
There's something else coming.
Huh? What the heck? How are you gonna follow up water and magma? Oh, well, obviously a drill and missile dragon. Those are the strongest.
It's Mr. Kisuke's dragon.
Auto number 99. Goryu Tenmetsu.
The skies parted at his words, and 5 pillars of light in the form of dragons appeared. It was a Hado that normally created dragons from the ley lines in the ground and broke apart the earth to swallow the target. However, Urahara had adapted it and hacked into the spiritual pressure of the souls flowing through the atmosphere that Aura had been subjugating, using those souls in place of a ley line.
This is more than I was expecting.
The composure disappeared from Aura's face, and in its stead, mechanical surprise came over her.
You've finally shown us your true face, haven't you?
Aura sent the lava and water dragons after Urahara and Hisagi, prompting 3 of Urahara's dragons to protect them, while the remaining 2 plunged at Aura. As the dragons of 3 colors intersected, an explosive water vapor rose up and the entire area was blanketed in a bright light.
This battle is in its own tier. Mr. Urahara, I don't know if it'll work, but could you use a Bakudo to divide her power and... Mr. Urahara?
He realized that Urahara's spiritual pressure had disappeared, and as the steam cleared, he didn't see him anywhere.
Scenario over. You've cleared the mission, Miss Aura.
Thank you very much, President Yukio.
With that score, I can't put you into the double S rank. It'd be B at best.
Hey! What's going on? What did you do to Mr. Urahara?
I told you from the start, didn't I, that our goal was Kisuke Urahara?
Where Urahara had been standing before the explosion, Hisagi could feel a disturbance in the spiritual pressure of the space itself, as though it had been warped.
Has he been kidnapped? That's impossible. This is Mr. Urahara we're talking about. What the hell did they do to him?
My preparations completed, so I had Kisuke Urahara come to my stage, that's all.
Don't screw with me. Release Mr. Urahara right now.
Sorry, but you've got to have an event flag set to progress farther than this point.
I'm sure we will meet again soon. I hope it will be under favorable circumstances.
Aura bowed and started to disappear into the artifacts of noise that Yukio had created.
You just wait right.
Though he reached through the sky using Flash Step, he was too late. Only the vestiges of twisted spiritual pressure were left behind.
Damn it!